Assalamu alaikum, hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Dua Zahra. So the today's topic is history of the formulation of cell theory. So here we will discuss what is the history of the formulation of cell theory. In the history of biology, Greeks were the first who organized the data of natural world. Aristotle presented the idea that all animals and plants are somehow related. Later, this idea gave rise to questions like, is there a fundamental unit of structure shared by all organisms? But before microscopes were first used in 17th century. No one knew with certainty that living organisms do share a fundamental unit. Cells were first described by a British scientist, Robert Hooke, in 1665. He used his self made light microscope to examine a thin slice of cork. Hooke observed a honeycomb of tiny empty compartments. He called the compartments in corks as celluli. His term has come to us as cells. Figure 4.5. The first living cells were observed a few years later by Dutch naturalist Antony van. He observed tiny organisms from pond water under his microscope and called them as animalcules. Here is a figure 4.5. Robert Hooke was a chemist, mathematician, and physicist. His remarkable engineering abilities enabled him to invent and improve many mechanical devices, including timepieces, the quadrant, and the jig and telescope. His observation about the section of cork is also illustrated here. For another century, half the general importance of cells was not appreciated by biologists. In 1809, Jean Baptiste de Lamarck proposed that nobody can have life if its parts are not cellular tissues are not found by cellular tissues. In 1830, a British botanist Robert Brown discovered nucleus in the cell. In 1831 में ब्रिटिश बोटानिस्ट रॉबर्ट ब्राउन डिस्कवर्ड न्यूक्लियस उसने न्यूक्लियस डिस्कवर्ड किया सेल में ठीक है इन 1838 अ जर्मन बोटानिस्ट मैथिस studied plant tissues and made the first statement of cell theory 1838 में जर्मन बोटानिस्ट मैथियस ने प्लांट्स में स्टडी किया टिश्यूज पे और फर्स्ट स्टेटमेंट ऑफ सेल थ्योरी बनाई ही स्टार्टेड दैट ऑल प्लांट्स आर aggregates of individual cells which are fully independent. 1 year later, in 1839, a German zoologist, Theodor, Theodor reported that all animals' tissues are also composed of individual cells. And